Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've talked about Osman's lineage in my last video. So this video I'm going to start talking about the birth of the Ottoman Empire. So if you ask me where the name Ottomans came from, it is derived from the name Osman or Uthman as he was called in Persian. So he was born in 1258 in the city of Sahut. Uh, I've told you about his father, his brother, and his mother, and all the other things in the previous video. So you can go watch that. I'll link it in the description. So now I'll tell you about his wives. He had two wives. He had Rabia Bala Hatun and Malhun Hatun. He didn't want to marry Malhun Hatun, but he had to as he did not have any children with Rabia Bala Hatun at that particular time, as she was termed to be unfertile. But then later, when he got married to Malwan Hatun, it turned out that Rabia Bala Hatun had turned out to be fertile. So he had about 7 children, and one of them was Orhan, the second ruler of the Ottoman Empire. So now I'm going to talk about his journey from a small city in Sogut at the frontiers of the Byzantium Empire, and how he gave birth to the Ottomans, as known as today. So he started by raiding the villages near Sagut, and he had 3 sieges with the Tekfurs. Tekfurs are the lords of the castles of the Byzantium Empire, and it was all throughout the border of the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum at that time. So he went and put sieges to Kuluchahisar, Karachahisar, and Inagol, and he took them not with ease, but with some difficulty, with his brothers, his sons, and all his companions at his sides. And with the banner of Islam under his belt, he conquered the 3 castles. After he conquered the 3 castles, he went towards Yerhisar. Yerhisar was like a capital city at that time of the emperor of Nicaea. Nicaea was under the governor of the Byzantium Empire. So if you know about the Byzantium tree, it is under the emperor and then the governor and then there are the Tekfurs. So now he had taken over 3 Tekfurs, that was the Inagal, Yarhisar and Kuluchahisar, as I've told you. So now he had to take over Yenihisar. Yenihisar will open the gates to the governor of the Byzantium Empire who held over Nicaea. So he went on a siege of Yerhisar, and he also captured it with great ease. He also captured the governor's daughter, Holocaustia, and who became later Osman's daughter-in-law. She married Orhan, Osman's first son and the second emperor of the Ottoman Empire, and gave birth to Murad, who was the third Ottoman emperor. So now that he had captured Nicaea, he had sent an ultimatum to all the Tekfurs of the remaining Byzantium emperor, and he had told him, you either adopt Islam as their religion or you have to face the wrath of Osman. But this was a very tricky situation for the Tekfurs because they were very involved in their Orthodoxian Christian religion or faith. So they had to choose between betraying the Byzantium or falling to the wrath of Osman. But on the other hand, if you see Osman, he was not in a great situation either. Even though he had conquered all the castles that I have told you just now, he had to fight a war on 2 fronts. One was with the war with the Byzantians with Andronikos III, and one was with the Germians. The Germians were a tribe in Anatolian region. The Germians had split out as a tribe from the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum. If I talk about the Germians were a very famous tribe, like the one that Ertugrul Ghazi had set up, the Kai tribe. But they were very loyal to the Sultanate of Rum. But when the Sultanate of Rum, the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum dissolved, it had become a very powerful state, and it was not accepting Osman as their ruler. So Osman had 2 enemies. One was the Germianids and one was the Byzantium. So now that he had taken the castles, he had opened the gates to Bursa. Bursa was like the next step towards Constantinople or modern day Istanbul as we know it today. So to do this, he had to take Bursa. Bursa was like a well fortified city as we know today. And it took him more than 8 years to take over the city. It was very difficult, and it was the first time that the Ottomans had to lay a perfect siege to take over the city. It was inevitable that the city would fall to Islam, but it was a very tough fight given by the Byzantiums for over 8 years. Even though Osman could not see the fall of Bursa, it was his son Orhan Ghazi who took the Ottoman Beylik into the hands of Bursa. Osman died a day just before the taking of Bursa. Thank you for watching. Hope you like this video. And I cannot tell all these facts are very perfect, because even when you go towards Wikipedia and you search for the information, there are no documentation done at the birth or at the time of Osman's rule. The documentation that I've spoken to you about today is more than 100 years after his death. It was his successors and more noble people who are literate that made these documentations, and we don't know that all these achievements of his were either his brothers or his sons. So thank you, hope you liked today's video, and I hope to continue this journey of me explaining history to all of you.